No matter,
Sir, I'm going to find you in contempt if you keep talking over me and being disrespectful.
answer what
Sir,
I was
please don't
asking.
interrupt me.
That's why I had a question
Sir,
when you're done.
stop. If you want to
Before I get to that, I
represent,
had questions.
sir,
That's what I'm saying.
stop.
I had
Stop
before that
interrupting me.
party. So
Sir, quit repeating yourself.
if there's a hurt party, can you present the hurt party to me?
I may have to find you in contempt. Is that what you're trying to get
I'm
me to?
not arguing about the court. I'm trying to understand.
Can you not understand what I'm saying?
What
Sir, you
did you
better
not?
go back to law school because I don't think you got the education you need to represent yourself.
All right, guys, buckle up. Because what you're about to see is one of the wildest courtroom showdowns I've ever covered. This man walks into court for a simple DUI case, and somehow decides he's going to outsmart the judge with Facebook legal theories. I mean, it's like watching someone bring a Nerf gun to a real gunfight. So here we go. The judge starts the hearing, calm and professional, just trying to get through the docket. But this guy, a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen, immediately launches into his usual nonsense about jurisdiction and hurt parties. You already know where this is going.
This is case number 2023 TR3 00060, State of Kansas versus Isaiah S. Curvin. Now then, Jill Gillette, County Attorney, appears for the state, and the defendant, Isaiah Curvin, appears in person and pro se. This is the pretrial hearing. The trial is set for jury Wednesday and Thursday of this week. February 7 and 8, there is one count of operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. Now, that seems to the court to be you either had a license or you didn't. Of course, the burden would be on the state to show there was no license, but Mr. Curvin, are you challenging that? Are you saying you did have a valid license?
No, I had a question before that about the jurisdiction. I was challenging jurisdiction because I had a question about that.
Okay.
'Cause I wanted to know the cause and nature of what's bringing the suit against you. So I really didn't understand.
All right. Well, the people of Kansas, as you probably know, get together ever so often and have elections to elect people to represent them in Topeka, the state capital, and those legislators pass laws that are for the good of all of us in theory, maybe in practice, and then we are to follow those laws. One of the laws at some point in time that those legislators made was that if we are going to operate a motor vehicle in Kansas, we have to have a valid driver's license. And if you do not have a valid driver's license when driving the automobile, it is to be treated as a Class B non-person misdemeanor. And they set the penalties of up to 6 months in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. So the authority comes from the people of the state of Kansas that pass the laws through their elected representatives.
The judge says, "Sir, please stop interrupting me." And he goes, "I just have a question." The judge says, "Stop again." He says, "But," again. It's like a broken record of courtroom chaos. You can literally feel the judge's patience clock ticking down second by second, and then it begins. He starts throwing out buzzwords. He clearly picked up from some Facebook group. Common law, admiralty law, criminal jurisdiction, just tossing random terms like legal confetti.
And they also pass laws, have judges, and I'm one of those judges that presides over these type of cases. They also pass the law that you can't have a jury trial for this type of offense. And so that's the authority, that's the nature of it. It's a traffic case, but it's also designated a criminal case, a B misdemeanor. So does that help you with your question, sir, or is there something else we need to address?
Well, yes, I have another question. When you say it's been a criminal, would that it gives the court two ways? Sixth Amendment actually gives the court two ways to do it. They can do it through like either like common law or is it colorable maritime admiralty law? Which one am I want to be tried under with jurisdiction?
This is neither common law nor admiralty law. This is criminal law under the Constitution of the state of Kansas, as affected by case law and federal law, of course.
So it's neither common nor color of
That is
amity.
correct.
It's neither
That
it's
is
neither one.
correct. Neither.
So which one, what am I going to be tried under? What jurisdiction I fall under, so I can properly move and so I can understand how to defend myself.
You're being tried under the criminal jurisdiction of the Kansas statutes.
Statutes, but under the Constitution, it grants you only two, and it has two criminal matters. One has to be common law, the other has to be the maritime amity.
The judge tries to explain it to him calmly 3 different times that he's being tried under the laws of the state of Kansas. Simple, done. But this man refuses to listen. And honestly, you can't help but laugh a little, because he's standing there arguing with someone whose literal job is to interpret the law. That's like walking into NASA and telling the scientists their math is wrong because of something you saw in a YouTube comment. The judge keeps her composure, though. She's firm, direct, and
Ms. Gillette, do you wish to be heard in response? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out.
Judge, this is basically kind of more of a statutory violation. This defendant, when you enter into the state of Kansas, you consent to the laws of Kansas when you drive upon the highways. The interstate compact between all of the states that are members of the interstate compact for traffic infractions means that when you consent to the laws of your state, or you drive upon or travel upon the roads of Kansas, Oklahoma, any of the states that are part of the compact, you consent to those laws when you enter into that state. So with the interstate compact, he would be consenting to the laws of the state of Kansas the moment he drives across the border. That law becomes effectual upon you, and it's your responsibility. It's when you become a licensed driver, or you have a license, or you become a driver and you're driving, then you are consenting to the laws of that state that you are traveling within. So jurisdiction is set up, as the judge said, by the Constitution of the state of Kansas and the laws of the legislature that are passed statutorily. And our statutes are passed with the law in this case. I would note for the record, Judge, that there is still no things on Odyssey for me to see. There's not a written request for jury trial. There's no motions to be heard today. I cannot respond to any motions because there's none on file.
Well,
Therefore, if
if
he is going to file anything of record for me to respond to, he would need to have his filings on file at least 7 days advance of a hearing for me to respond, and that there is no proper written request for a jury trial at this time. Therefore, this case could go to bench trial on Wednesday, and we would not have to have a jury present due to the fact that there is a lack of request for jury trial. And if there is no written request for jury trial, the case goes to bench trial.
absolutely no nonsense. She tells him point blank, "You're not in admiralty court, you're not in common law court, you're in a criminal court under Kansas statutes." And what does he do? He doubles down. Starts asking if there's a hurt party or injured victim, like that somehow voids his DUI. I mean, come on. You don't need an injured party when you're driving.
He's wanting to argue jurisdiction, dismissal motions, and all kinds of motions. There's nothing before the court in writing for me to respond to. I don't know what he's going to say. So one of our other pro se individuals had written several motions. Most were very lacking, but at least I had something to respond to. In this case, under the laws and Constitution of Kansas, you submit when you come into our jurisdiction. Therefore, when he traveled into Kansas and operated a motor vehicle, he consented to the laws and jurisdiction of Kansas. And I would say that we have jurisdiction, and that lack of venue and jurisdiction is denied, should be denied.
I had a question about that because when you say that I consent, is there like a form? Was that like is that what would that be under? That would be civil. Would that be
Sir,
like a
you
would that be
you
the
can
criminal matter?
you consented by your conduct of going onto a road that is a state of Kansas highway and a
So which jurisdiction was that would be under? Like would that be like maritime, like as a like a
sir,
contract?
I've answered that question to you, and you got on the road and you consented to driving on the road, and therefore you did consent to the laws associated with driving. So I am going to hold you to the law in this particular case. Now,
what I'm understanding when you say like when you said the cause of nature, and but that's why I was not understanding still about that because you said the cause of nature. I had that I asked.
Sir, if you want me to entertain any of your arguments, you need to have them well thought out, and you need to have them in writing, and you need to have them, sir, listen to me, please. You need to have them in writing. You need to have them filed with the court. You need to give copies and notice to Miss Gillette so she can have an opportunity to respond. And I'm not going to entertain this process throughout the proceedings where you come in and you just start saying things
without a license. That is the violation. But here's the wild part. The prosecutor even steps in to explain that just by driving on Kansas roads, he consented to the state's laws, clear, logical, done. And yet, this guy's sitting there stone-faced, as if he's decoding an alien language. By now, the judge is being patient to a saintly degree. She even tells him, if you want to argue, put your motions in writing. Stop freestyling legal nonsense in court. And that line right there, that's pure gold. Because this dude isn't arguing law. He's just freestyling like it's open mic night in traffic court. You can see the judge trying to maintain her cool.
I have a question.
Things that you may have picked up here or there on the internet or by other people. I don't know where you get some of this stuff, but it is very common for people, certain individuals, to come in and start repeating some of this stuff that so far I haven't heard anything that has merit. These arguments of, well, you're either maritime or you're common law. That's not going to carry weight with me. You're going to have to give me something that tells me I have to follow those arguments, because I think you're misstating the law. So by now you should have had all your motions on file. We're ready.
Yeah, maybe you misunderstood what I was asking.
Please don't interrupt to me.
I still had a question.
Sir, stop and listen to me. If you want a jury trial, I will make sure you have a jury trial. If you want to represent, sir, stop interrupting me. If you want a jury trial, I will make sure you have a jury trial. If you want an attorney, I'll make sure you have an attorney to help you. But if you're going to do this on your own, you need to know what you're doing, and you need to follow the law just as an attorney would be expected to. But you're not going to come in here and just start saying things, and I'll answer questions as long as they're legitimate questions. So at this point, I'll ask you once again, are you sure you don't want an attorney to help you, someone who is trained in the law? Because this, sir, is a court of law. And if you don't have the benefit of knowing the law, you're going to be disadvantaged.
Well, before I move forward, I had questions before I move forward. That's why I was asking to understand it. I was trying to understand this.
Well, I can't aid you in the unauthorized practice of law. I cannot.
No, I'm not asking. I'm not asking for legal advice. I'm asking for your legal intent. What do you intend to be trying me with jurisdiction? That's why I'm asking if it's under which one. And you said it's a criminal matter. If it's criminal, there's someone's been hurt. So if there's someone's been hurt, I have the right to cross-examine.
I have answered your question legally, and you keep trying to give me limited illegal choices, and I'm not going to do that.
Under the Sixth Amendment, I have the right to know. I have under the Sixth Amendment, I have the right to know what jury I'm going to be tried against, and you have the duty to tell me. I don't think you're going to be violating your oath to office if you did that.
I've answered those questions, sir.
But her tone sharpens. She tells him straight. If he wants a jury trial, he'll get one. If he wants an attorney, she'll appoint one. But if he insists on representing himself, he'll be held to the same standards as any trained lawyer. And honestly, that's where it starts to sink in. This guy is in way over his head. He keeps rambling about two kinds of jurisdictions and common law. And at this point, even the transcriptionist is struggling to keep up. The judge finally snaps just a little. She reminds him that his constant talking over her is making it impossible to even type out the record. And trust me, when a judge...
We need to move on. I've made it clear to you, it's a couple of hearings now that you're being tried in the District Court of Greenwood County, Kansas, under the laws of the state of Kansas. And we're not going to keep running in circles on this.
That is not.
You know this, and I know this, and I feel like you're just kind of.
No, what I'm asking, so the court only, the Constitution only grants the court under when it comes to criminal under two matters, and that's why I asked you: is it civil? Is it civil or is it criminal? What you said is criminal, so it's not civil, right?
Sir, you can reserve your right for appeal, but I have ruled. Now, what's your next question or your next point of view? And I need to have you back here. Bring your camera back so I can see you.
Your phone froze. I didn't hear what you said. Your phone froze. It froze.
I don't know if my phone froze or your did.
Oh, my phone froze. You cut out for a second.
Okay, so do you want an attorney? I'll ask you that again.
Before I get to that, I still have to find out. I have the right, I have the Sixth Amendment right to know. If I ask, I have the right to know. I'm not asking for legal advice. I'm asking for your legal intent.
Do you want a jury trial and do you want a lawyer? Those are the two things.
Before I get to that, I have to understand what jurisdiction I'm under so I can rightfully, know how to defend myself.
Okay, you don't like my ruling.
You don't. So are you telling me I have to get a lawyer to understand? For the record, you just have to get a lawyer to find out what I'm going to be tried against? Is that just some type of secret jurisdiction that I should know about?
Okay, sir. Here's the deal. You're either. I'm not going to play games with you. I understand the sovereign citizen position that you take.
I'm not claiming. I didn't say anything about sovereign anything, ma'am. I'm asking
how the right to defend myself
under my Sixth Amendment right to know. I have right to know which jurisdiction are you going to try me under, and you're telling me in order to ask me for a lawyer. And I'm like, before I even go to trial, I like to know what jurisdiction I'm falling up under. And you're telling me I have to find, in order to find out, I have to get a lawyer. So you're telling me for the record, the defendant has to get a lawyer because there's only only lawyers understand what jurisdiction or what I'm going to be tried under. So that's the only way I can know. Instead of you asking me, but you have the duty to tell me under the Sixth Amendment. Do you not?
Judge starts worrying about the court reporter. You know you're on thin ice. But nope. Our self-appointed legal genius doesn't stop. He keeps asking, where's the injured party? Over and over like it's some magic phrase that'll make the charges disappear. At this point, it's obvious he's not confused. He's stalling. He's just playing for time, pretending not to understand, trying to stretch this case out until it collapses. And honestly, I gotta give it to Judge Webster. She handles this circus like a pro. Calm, precise, but firm. You can see she's seconds away from holding him in contempt. And trust me, she's got the authority to back it up. She even warns him multiple times. Sir, stop interrupting me. But he...
Okay, now it's your turn to stop talking and my turn to talk. I have answered your questions. I've told you the jurisdiction. You don't like my answers, so you voice your objection for appeal and we move on. We're not going to keep playing this game, sir. Now, do you want a lawyer or do you not?
I need a lawyer for you to tell me. When I'm asking you, like, because you saying it's not in the criminal matter, so there's a hurt party.
Sir, quit repeating yourself.
If there's a hurt party, can you present the hurt party to me?
If you keep sitting here wanting to argue with the court, I may have to find you in contempt. Is that what you're trying to get me?
I'm not arguing about the court. I'm trying to understand.
I cannot educate you and train you.
I'm not asking for education.
If you want to sir, do you know there's a person that's going to try to try to type out this transcript. And if you keep talking over me, do you know what chaos you're going to cause for that transcriptionist? We have to take turns talking. I've answered your question repeatedly. Let's move on to the next question or the next point. You don't have any motions I can rule on because you don't have anything in the file. So are you going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or continue on your waiver?
So if you're gonna try one, is there someone that was hurt to make a criminal matter? I'd like to know who it was.
Are you going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or continue to waive your right and represent yourself? Keeping in mind, sir, if you waive your right to an attorney, you will be held to the same standards as a defendant with an attorney. You will be held to the same standards as the attorney. You need to know the same rules, procedures, and laws. So what are you going to do on the issue of attorney? Continue to.
I'm just simply asking you to identify which the code of the written law that you're asking to do. I'm just asking you to which code is that you're bringing against me as constitutional law. Because if that's a serious law.
Taking up time. Can you not understand what I'm saying?
Do you guys think this dude's just playing dumb? Or is he just trying to argue with an IQ of like -5? Honestly, I think it's a little bit of both, but nah, seriously, he's definitely playing dumb here on purpose, in my opinion. I mean, the judge has literally asked him these same questions 6 times in a row, and he's just out here dodging it like it's dodgeball, and he's in the finals or something. I mean, at this point, it's just straight up disrespect, and I'm like, it's time for contempt, judge. Like, let's wrap this circus up here. He's clearly not confused. Like, he's looking down, reading his little script he bought off Facebook for $5, so it's clear to me he's just stalling, like his freedom depends on it. And spoiler alert, it kind of does. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is he playing dumb here, or is he just an idiot?
Yeah, ask me if I want a lawyer. If I want a lawyer, I'm not moving forward because I'm not understanding where we're still going under here. Where you're telling me like it's on the criminal matter. If it's on the criminal, if it makes a criminal matter, that means it has to be like some injured party. Where is injured party at?
I'm going to order that you appear at the courthouse. Where are you parked right now?
I'm in Texas.
You do know your trial is Wednesday and you have to physically be present in the courthouse. It is not a Zoom.
Before we get to trial, I'm trying to figure out the jurisdiction. You just haven't went over what the jurisdiction is.
Well, if you don't want to submit to the Kansas jurisdiction for your live trial on Wednesday, I can get you a warrant and you can be brought before the court.
He keeps going, like he's allergic to silence. By now, the tension in the courtroom is thick enough to cut with a knife. The judge has laid out the law, the prosecutors backed her up, and this guy's still stuck in a YouTube rabbit hole. You can almost feel everyone in that courtroom silently begging, please, just stop talking. And that's where things start getting real interesting. Because what happens next? Judge Webster finally runs out of patience. And what she does next sends the whole courtroom into stunned.
Yes, I'm appearing in person right now. I'm doing my duty to appear, but you're not telling me.
We're not having a Zoom jury trial.
They're not telling me. You're not telling me which you're not even telling me what the nature of the cause. You're not telling me. You're not even telling me if it's common law. If it's common law, then you telling me that it's a criminal. If it's criminal, then there should be an injured party. I'm asking, where's the injured party? Can you bring the injured party forward?
Mr. Kervin, you are set for jury trial.
But before we even get to trial, man, you still haven't answered my questions. I still want to know the cause of nature of the matter.
Sir, I'm going to find you in contempt if you keep talking over me and being disrespectful.
Ma'am, you keep not even answering my question before we get to jury trial. You're just setting it.
You are now found in contempt. We will deal with your consequences Wednesday at the jury trial. This is set for jury trial. It's going to cost the taxpayers some money, so you better make sure you're ready to go to jury trial come Wednesday. You better make sure you're not in Texas. You better make sure you're sitting in the courtroom in Greenwood County, Kansas. That's Eureka, Kansas. Do you understand, sir? Any questions about?
I still have questions that was never answered.
I'm not your attorney, sir. I'm your judge.
Yeah, I know you're not my attorney. I'm asking you, judge. I'm asking for legal advice. I ask you what was your legal intent? You still haven't told me what you're going to ask you. What was the nature and cause of this
My
for this hope
legal
for this?
intent is to conduct a jury trial on you Wednesday with the jury.
And what was the nature and cause of this hope before all that? What was
The
your nature and cause?
nature of this charge is that you were allegedly operating a motor vehicle without a license in Greenwood County, Kansas, November 9th, 2023. That's the nature. Now,
And you said
I'm
it's
not,
and I asked. I,
we're not
I said a
doing this.
question. I said a question. So when I asked you what jurisdiction, the court, the Constitution grants the courts the two jurisdictions. Which one is common law, and the other one is
Sir,
maritime admiralty law. You said it's neither one of them, right?
Sir, you
Did you
better
not?
go back to law school because I don't think you got the education you need to represent yourself. You either need to go back to law
That's
school or go to law school or get an attorney, sir, because you don't understand that which you're speaking of. So be ready to go. And if
I'm
you're
asking a
not
question,
here
Your
and
Honor.
ready to go, if you're not here and ready to go Wednesday, I will issue a warrant for your arrest.
Your Honor, I still have a question. You still haven't answered my question before you dismiss. I
And
asked
I
you which
told
law
you,
the
sir, I
court only
am
grants
not.
under the Sixth Amendment, right? Under the Sixth Amendment, you have the grants
Okay,
the
I'm
opportunity to
gonna
tell the
fine you. I'm only gonna fine you $50 for that first contempt.
$50 for what? What I don't
For
understand.
continuing to ask the same questions over and over after
I'm
I've
asking it. You never answered it. You never told me
I'm going to object. It's been
which
asked and
jurisdiction it
answered.
was.
It's been ruled on, Judge. We need to proceed to the next step.
Mr. Kervin, do you want a jury trial or a bench trial?
I want a jury trial.
Silence. All right, so remember how the judge has been patient for way too long? Yeah, that patience is about to evaporate like water on a skillet. The judge leans forward and tells him for what feels like the 10th time. Sir, stop interrupting me. I have answered your question, but this guy, oh no, he's on a mission. Keep circling back to the same nonsense like a broken GPS stuck on recalculate route. He says, if it's criminal, where's...
Missy, do we have tomorrow open? Let's see, we've got a 9 o'clock docket. What do we have going on tomorrow afternoon, Missy?
We have first appearances, and I haven't looked at them yet. And then,
Okay, and then we have 3:30.
yeah, we have a couple at 3:30, and then we have a 4 o'clock case.
Ms. Gillette, can I continue this for further pretrial hearing with the live hearing, defendant present tomorrow at, what do you have? Can you fit me in at what, 2:30, Missy? Do you have time then? Pick me a time. Give me about a half an hour tomorrow that you can fit me
I
in.
think our 11 o'clock went off. Let me.
I was going to say 11 o'clock is the perfect time for the state, Judge.
Well, but I've got to give Mr. Kervin. I've got to give, sir, please quit interrupting. This is not a free-for-all. Miss Gillette, we've got to give him time to drive up from Texas. Yeah. Well, if he doesn't have a license, he can't drive. We have to give him time to find someone who can drive him up here, or give him time for a plane ticket, or however he wants to get here.
1 o'clock p.m. from 1 to 1:30. Then we can start the first appearance docket at 1:30.
Sounds good. Okay. Sir, this is going to be a live pretrial hearing tomorrow at 1 p.m. You must be present.
I cannot make it tomorrow, ma'am. I'm in Texas. That's what I was trying to tell you from before.
Well,
you told me you said Wednesday at first, and now you're saying tomorrow.
Well, your jury trial is Wednesday. Your pretrial is continued to 1 p.m. tomorrow. There is no law that says I have to give you a Zoom hearing. I try to do that as a courtesy.
I could do the Zoom, but I wasn't able to drive because this where I'm at, I'm already like right here by San Antonio. It's like about a 14-hour drive. Like even if I drove right now, I would still wouldn't make it to probably 2, and I would drive this 32, 14. That's like half the day driving. Now I don't have nobody to drive like that. You know, man. That's why
if you don't have a license, you better not be driving, because then that'll be another violation of the law. But that's my order. Be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Live and in person. If you're not here, then most likely a warrant would issue for your arrest, and we'd go from there.
Well, I'm telling you, if I wouldn't make it, what's my other option? If I'm already in Texas, not to, that's hours away. You know, it's like about 4 different states.
Well, sir, you came to Kansas, you violated the laws allegedly in Kansas, and you've taken up a lot of the court and counsel's time. So,
Well, I was told the
you're,
officer said I can take. He told me I can take care of it from Texas. I will have to come back to Kansas when I see the
I have
ticket.
always told you that the trial would be live. Don't be pulling that on
No,
me.
no, no, not you. I'm talking about the officer when I got the ticket when I first got it. I let him know like I was just coming through Kansas. Like you don't live here. He said it. She said normally it's to do video and stuff because it's like different state.
Normally it is, but I'm ordering that you be here in person tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And anything further, Miss Gillette?
Nothing at this time.
Hold on, my phone cut out. Hold on. So,
Mr. Curvin,
say that again, man.
any motions you want to take up tomorrow at the pretrial, you better have them filed by 5 o'clock tonight with copies served on the prosecutor, or I'm not going to entertain them tomorrow. You've had a long time to get
Did
those
you
on
have you
file
received?
and you haven't done it. And I'm through with repeating myself over and over. So at this time, you owe the court $50 for contempt. We'll address that tomorrow as well. Okay, we'll begin recess.
When I have a
Thank you,
question
Judge.
before we go, when you said the when you said like how to file the motions and everything, did you receive my special appearance motion or anything like that?
Nope. No, sir.
You hadn't received it from last time?
Nope.
I filed that before.
No, sir. I don't know what you're doing with them, but we're not getting them here.
I was told that you had received them through email, or I sent the email
Okay,
to I sent it a few
sir.
times. Not like that was the only way.
If you can't figure out how to do it on your own, then you need an attorney. And I have told you repeatedly that if you cannot afford an attorney, you can
No, they
apply,
told me
and I will appoint one.
they told me they had received them before. That's why I was understanding. Like you say you never received them, but you say you received them before. Like the first time we appeared, and then I actually I haven't received them. I haven't called.
Just because you keep repeating something doesn't mean you're going to get a different result.
No, I haven't repeated. I'm asking like they never received it, but they told me they did. That's just
You keep saying the things over and over, thinking like you're going to get a different result, and the answer is going to be the same every time.
You have a good day, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
The injured party, and the judge just stares at him. You can practically feel the courtroom sigh. At this point, she's done being nice. She reminds him, "I'm not your attorney. I'm your judge." And that's when it hits him. She's officially had enough of the sovereign citizen circus. She tries to move on with the case, asks if he's going to hire a lawyer or not. And guess what? He still refuses to answer. He's sitting there repeating the same hurt party line over and over like it's going to unlock a hidden level in the court system. You can literally see the frustration building in the judge's face. She's balancing that razor-thin line between professionalism and just wanting to say, "Sir, please stop embarrassing yourself." Then finally, boom, she cuts him off. "Sir, if you keep talking over me and being disrespectful, I'm going to find you in contempt of court," and this man keeps talking. He's so wrapped up in his imaginary legal theory, he doesn't even realize she's giving him a final warning. So she slams the gavel down and says, "You are now found in contempt." You can hear that pin-drop silence. The courtroom freezes. Even the air feels heavier for a second. That's when you know Judge Webster means business. And honestly, it's such a satisfying moment. Not because of the punishment, but because she finally takes control of the situation. She tells him straight up, if he doesn't show up for his in-person trial, a warrant will be issued for his arrest. No sugarcoating, no soft talk, just pure authority. And how does he respond? He starts arguing about geography. "I'm in Texas," he says, like that's some kind of magic legal shield that blocks Kansas laws. The judge, dead serious, says, "You came to Kansas, you violated Kansas laws, and now you need to be back here in person." She even reminds him that if he drives back without a license, that's another charge waiting for him, and you'd think that would finally make him stop, right? Nope, he just keeps digging. Starts claiming he already emailed his special appearance motion 3 times. Judge says she never got it. He argues back again. It's like arguing with a wall that somehow talks back. Finally, she gives him the simplest order possible. "You owe this court $50 for contempt. Be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. for pre-trial." And this this absolute legend of delusion, actually argues that too. Says it's too far. Says he can't make it. Says the officer told him he could handle it from Texas. At this point, even the prosecutor looks like she's watching a sitcom she's seen one too many times. And the judge just shuts it down cold. She says, "There is no law that says I have to give you a Zoom hearing. Be here in person tomorrow, or I'll issue a warrant." And just like that, gavel down. Done. Case adjourned. You can feel the collective relief in the room. Everyone's thinking the same thing. Finally. And sure enough, the next day, he doesn't show. Not even a Zoom login, not a call, nothing. So now there's a warrant out for his arrest. And this man, who swore he knew all the secret sovereign laws, might just learn the hard way what real law looks like. Honestly, Judge Webster deserves a medal for patience in this one. She handled this with grace, control, and just enough fire to keep order. But this sovereign citizen, he's about to learn that courtroom isn't a stage. It's a reality check. And trust me, when that warrant gets served, we'll all be here for it. Because something tells me this story isn't over yet.